Whether the team is performing clean or unsightly, we'll cover it all here on Washington Football Nightly. I, of course, am your host, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. Let's get to tonight's lead story. So Week 9 is finally upon us, and this is a massive game in the 2020 season for the Washington football team. New York Giants come into FedEx Field at 1-7. Washington comes into the game at 2-5. This is a great opportunity for Washington to string together a 2-game winning streak for the first time this season and really build some momentum as they go into a massive stretch of their season. They're going to have some reinforcements in this game. We've heard them talk about Steven Sims and him practicing. We'll talk more about that as we get into other news and we look at the injury report. We talked about Robert Foster and his addition to this team. Will he be a factor right away? I don't really think so, but it's good to have other options, especially with the injury to Dontrell Inman. We'll talk more about that a little bit later on in the show, but I don't want to talk about those guys. We'll talk about them a little bit later. I want to talk about a guy that I'm not going to lie to you, I have totally forgotten about. And some of you had asked me about him maybe a month ago, but there hasn't been a lot of discussion nor chatter about running back Bryce Love. And for good reason. I don't think the running back position has been a problem this year. Antonio Gibson had his best game of his career in Week 7 before the bye against Dallas. J.D. McKissick has been extremely solid. I think he needs more touches. And so I've actually been pleased with what we've gotten out of the running back position. I don't love Peyton Barber, but if Adrian Peterson were getting the amount of touches that Peyton Barber is getting, there'd be a problem on this roster because Adrian Peterson would not be okay with that, which is why I think they released him. They called him into the office and asked him, would he be okay with the role that Peyton Barber's playing right now, which is a guy that's going to get, anywhere from 5 to 10 carries in any given game and continue to be a veteran leader in his locker room. And Peterson says, I have more to give than that. So I would love it if we could have upgraded our, first and second down in between the tackles, running back, because Peyton Barber, to me, as I've said numerous times, extra regular. However, Bryce Love is a guy that I have forgotten about. I hadn't thought about him since he was put on IR early in the season, and I frankly wasn't looking for him this season. And the first time he was asked about in forever, no reporters brought him up. I don't know what prompted them to bring him up today, whether he was out at practice for the first time and they saw him or what. But, Rivera was asked about Bryce Love and his health and his progress, where he is. And is this a guy that could potentially help at some point this season? To which Ron Rivera responded, yes. He does think that at some point Bryce Love will be active and be able to contribute this season. It's something that we've been looking forward to since he was drafted out of Stanford some 2-3 years ago now. It feels like forever that this guy's been here and hasn't been able to contribute because of the knee injury. And I think this is only his second year in the league, if I'm not mistaken. But whatever the case may be, we want to see what Bryce Love can offer. We know this guy has tremendous talent. We know this guy has excellent speed. And we just want to see it manifest itself on an NFL field. Well, Rivera said he's doing some good things. He's taking some great strides with the training staff. He's had back-to-back good days. They're feeling good about his progress and where he is. But he's still a little ways away from getting back to a point where they feel comfortable with him practicing with the team and then ultimately being activated from IR and given a chance to be on the active roster. So we're not quite there yet, but I was actually amazed to hear the name Bryce Love because I hadn't heard it since training camp, and I wasn't expecting to hear it until maybe after the season was done. So to hear Bryce Love and to hear that, and remember, running backs coach Randy Jordan said a long time ago when Bryce Love, I think he said it twice, once in training camp when Bryce wasn't injured yet or hadn't been put on IR, and then again afterwards, he said, Bryce Love is a guy that we expect to help us at some point this season. He didn't specify when, but he said, this is a guy that we think can help us at some point this season. Maybe he was right. Maybe we will see Bryce Love at some point in 2020. Maybe we won't. There's no guarantees to this thing. If J.D. McKissic and Antonio Gibson continue to develop and increase their workload and continue to grow in this offense, there may not be a need for a Bryce Love, but you can never have too many. And I really want to see it, as I think most of you would like, to see Bryce Love in some capacity with this football team. So I thought that was an interesting piece of news coming out of the presser today, is that Bryce Love is reportedly getting close to getting back to a point where he can practice. And once he starts practicing, then you get into a situation where he might be able to be active. You're not getting much out of Peyton Barber. So at this point, if you've got to sit somebody down to give him an opportunity to be active, if you can get some special teams value, and I don't know what Bryce Love looks like on specials, but if he can offer you something on specials, which I don't know what Peyton Barber does, and if he offers you any help on specials, but if you can get some help out of a guy like Bryce Love on specials, I think there could be a roster spot for him eventually this season, and an opportunity maybe to get into one of these games and maybe have some success. We'll see. I'm excited for him and that opportunity that may be presented to him. He's got to stay healthy, something that he hasn't really been able to do since the knee injury at Stanford. He's got to be able to stay healthy to give himself a chance to be productive on the field. I know a lot of you, including myself, would really like to see Bryce Love on an NFL field and what he could do for the burgundy and gold. And the first step to being able to do that is to get healthy. Hopefully he's getting there and he's at a point where he can get back to his collegiate form. So let's get to in other news, where Rivera stepped up to the podium. We heard from offensive line assistant coach Travell Wharton, who used to play for Ron Rivera, is now coaching under Rivera. Used to play for Coach Masco, the offensive line coach, now coaching under Coach Masco. So he was a guy that spoke today. I thought he had some interesting things to say, but honestly, a lot of what was said today, nothing, needle moving really from Rivera or Travell Wharton. It was more about Wharton's relationship with Masco and the players. He did Wharton about Morgan Moses' leadership, which I firmly believe. If you ask me who's the number one leader, and this may be a surprise to some of you, if you've been paying attention close enough, then this is not a surprise to you. But if you ask me who the number one leader on this team is, I would tell you it's Morgan Moses. I think his voice resonates more with these players. The only guy that's been here longer than him is Ryan Kerrigan. Kerrigan is not a rah-rah speech guy. He's not the one that's going to go over, put his arm over your shoulder and comfort you. He's not the guy that's going to give speeches to the team. He's not the guy that's going to come over there and try to get everybody pumped up. That's Morgan Moses. And I think he resonates with more of these players on this team. I remember when Dwayne won his first game against Detroit, and he was so excited on the sidelines. He threw the Gatorade bottle. The first guy he went over to and congratulated and was excited with was Morgan Moses. Like, I think more guys on this team resonate with Morgan Moses, or Morgan Moses, I should say, resonate with more players on this team than any other player on this team. He was the guy that got Terry McLaurin to step up and be more vocal. Terry even said that himself. Morgan said it as well. Like, I think Morgan Moses is the guy that, if there were one representative for this entire team, if the team were to choose one guy to represent this entire team, it'd be Morgan Moses. And I know a lot of you were down on Morgan for whatever reason. I can't really explain it other than the penalties, and we haven't seen many of those this season. Don't show your ass. Knock on some glass. But I tell you what, he talked about Morgan Moses' leadership. He talked about how he really loves Sadiq Charles. He just needs to stay healthy. Thinks that this guy can be really effective. He talked about this offensive line and how they did a really good job in training camp of mixing and matching parts because of situations like the one we're going to see today, or this week, I should say, in week 9, situations that we've seen this season where we've had to move parts around. I remember back to week number 2 when Sheriff first went down And we had to start playing musical chairs along the offensive line. And, even as we got deeper into the season and we had, other guys go down, we've had guys be able to step up. Wes Schweitzer has gone from right guard, where he's probably more comfortable, to left guard. We've seen Cornelius Lucas have to step in at left tackle. So we've seen guys have to be able to be versatile. And he said that's what we've done, is we set it up to where guys are comfortable and they have to know every single position. And so we've seen that this season, guys being able to play multiple positions if need be because of either an injury or poor play from someone else. Remember, Wes Martin started off at left guard. He's been since benched, and Wes Schweitzer has been inserted after they were looking to go to Sadiq Charles, and he got hurt 2 plays in. That wasn't what they were practicing all week. They weren't practicing with Wes Schweitzer at left guard. They were practicing with Sadiq Charles at left guard. Well, Wes Schweitzer had to go in. And he said that's what we've done. And Rivera, I'll say this, and then we'll get to the injury report before we move on to our behind enemy lines and our prediction for the game this Sunday. Rivera talked about in Carolina back in 2013 how they had a bunch of guys that were on the cusp. They just needed more opportunities. He pointed out Mike Mitchell in Carolina in 2013. And I remember Mike Mitchell being a second-round draft pick by the Raiders, a fast safety that was physical, but for whatever reason, never really amounted to much in Oakland. And they got him in Carolina, and that's when Mike Mitchell's career started to really, take off. He ended up parlaying his time in Carolina into a nice deal in Pittsburgh. So Mike Mitchell was a guy that they felt like, hey, a guy that just needs a new opportunity. He's on the cusp. We just got to find a way to get the most out of him. And they feel like they've been able to do that with a number of guys, most notably J.D. McKissick and Logan Thomas, 2 guys that they felt like just needed more opportunity. They can play. They can get it done. They just need more opportunities. And they've responded well with the opportunities that they've received this season. I've been really pleased with both of these guys and their productions to this point. I told you, I've been blown away by Logan Thomas's production this season. Again, I don't think he's a tight end number 1. I don't care what you say in terms of, he's only been a tight end for, you can save that discussion. I know what I see, but I see a guy that is definitely capable of playing at a high level in this league, just not one at the level of a number 1. But I think he's one of the better number 2 tight ends. If you were to get a true number 1 tight end, Logan Thomas would easily be one of the best number 2 options at the tight end position in this league. And I've been really impressed with what he's been able to provide for this football team. But, Rivera talked about the culture of this football team. And he said, look, we haven't established anything. Winning helps establish a culture. We haven't done enough of it. And so until we start using the things that we've done on the practice field, transferring them over to the game field and winning football games, we haven't changed anything. There is no culture established here. We got to start winning football games. But the guys are starting to buy in, which is a big part of changing the culture. Now it needs to start converting into wins. And I love that statement from Rivera as well, because at the end of the day, it's about wins and losses. And we knew this was going to be a process. Some people didn't understand that concept. Most of us did. And we understood that it was going to take some time. Some of you don't really want to go through the process the way that it's supposed to be done, which is, it's going to be some growing pains. I told you guys this a million times. I felt like a broken record in the offseason because I kept saying the same things over and over again. It's going to be some growing pains. You're going to start slow more likely than not. And you're going to have to take these lumps. But eventually you're going to see this team progress and the light bulb's going to come on. And I'm hoping, I can't say with 100% certainty that the light bulb came on versus Dallas. I just told you guys it was a steady progression and growth towards what we saw versus Dallas. Now, granted, Dallas sucks. They stink. I get that. But you still got to go out and do it. Ask Tampa Bay. Are the Giants good? No, the Giants aren't a good football team. They're 1-7 for a reason, but you still got to go out and whoop their ass. They didn't do that on Monday. And the Giants hung around and almost stole that football game from them. All right, the 49ers are a mess right now. You know what the Packers said? Cool, we'll dispose of them. They did it nice and quickly, and so by the time they got to the midpoint of the third quarter, that game was over. That's what you do to bad football teams. You put them out of their misery early, because if you let them hang around, they're going to get confidence and they're going to think they can steal the football game. I'm not saying that's what the Giants are, because we're definitely not the Green Bay Packers nor the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But what I'm saying is that when you're a team that has an opportunity to jump on someone, you have to do it. The longer you allow a team to hang around in a ball game, the more likely it is they're going to gain the amount of confidence necessary to beat you in that football game. And so I saw this team gaining confidence as the weeks progressed, even though it wasn't showing up in wins. As we watched the film, I saw a team that was a play away here, a missed assignment there, and, a fumble, an interception, a missed field goal, all these things away from keeping momentum, converting here on a third down that we missed, giving up a big play here. And I said, if we can eliminate these things one by one, you're not going to eliminate them all overnight. But if you can start eliminating some of these things and continuing to improve in other areas, you're going to see this team get better. And that's what we're starting to see. Now we need it to be consistent. You can't just do it one week and then don't do it the next. You did it in week 7. Now you had a chance to do it in week 9. And Rivera essentially is saying, we got to start putting together that level of consistency that will allow you to establish culture. And that's something that he's looking for. So those were the big takeaways from the discussion today between the coaches. Now let's get to our injury report heading into week number 9 versus the Giants. And it's a clean injury report for both teams, really. This is going to be two teams relatively healthy coming into this ball game. As you look at it from Washington's standpoint, I already told you guys that the only two players that weren't going to play in this game were Jaron Christian Sr. and Dontrell Inman, both of which haven't really practiced this week. Inman sustained a hamstring injury in practice on Wednesday. He did not practice Thursday nor Friday. He's doubtful. Go ahead and call him out. They don't want to call him out. I'm telling you, he's out for Sunday. Jaron Christian had the knee injury that he sustained back in week number 6 versus these same Giants. He did not play in week 7, or actually the knee injury I think came in practice, because if I'm not mistaken, he was fine at practice Wednesday. It wasn't until Thursday where he sat out and the media was like, hey, I see Jaron Christian with a noticeable limp. And, Ron tried to give us the okie doke. Oh, we gave him a veteran day off. He'll be fine. He should be back at practice tomorrow. He wasn't. And I told you I was worried on Thursday when I heard members of the media saying, hey, he's having a noticeable hitch in his giddy up. What's going on? And Ron tried to downplay it. He didn't practice that Friday either. And that's when everyone knew, okay, he's not playing against Dallas. And we were nervous because Cornelius Lucas didn't look good in camp, but he showed up. He wasn't tremendous. A lot of people, you watch the film, he didn't do much in the game, but he wasn't a problem. Anytime you're filling in as an offensive lineman and we don't call your name and we don't notice that you're in the game, that means you're doing your job. He did that versus Dallas. We're hoping for another one of those performances in week number 9 versus the Giants, because he is going to play and he is going to start and he is going to have to play well for us to have a chance, because Jaron Christian Sr. with that knee injury is going to be out at the tackle position. So everybody else in between those two are full participants on Friday, and we're full participants on Thursday, and they're not even listed on the injury report. So when you look at their game status, there's nothing there because those guys are ready to go. And you can add Steven Sims Jr. to that list. He will be ready to go as well. Ron did not talk about him because he doesn't have to. And I told you Ron wasn't going to activate him until like Saturday because he didn't want to have to answer questions from the media. You're going to see a tweet come across your screen from John Keim or JP Finley, or, one of these, Nikki, or somebody out there, Rhiannon Walker. You're going to see a tweet come across your screen, Ben Standig, that Washington activated Steven Sims to their 53-man active roster off of IR, and they're going to give you the subsequent move that goes with it. Somebody has to be either demoted or released from the team and then, elevated to the practice squad. But you're going to see that take place this week because Steven Sims looks to be back. He was a full participant in practice today, looked good again, and I surmise that he'll be back out there, and that is a breath of fresh air for an offense that can use more offensive firepower. So you get to the Giants side of things, and just so you know, James Smith-Williams and Montez Sweat both were dealing with concussions. Both have been cleared and we're in stage 5 on Thursday. Both are full go. They're good to go. Logan Thomas was dealing with the ankle. Tight end Logan Thomas was dealing with an ankle. He's full go. He practiced fully on Thursday and Friday. No worries there. And Isaiah Wright, remember, he injured himself versus these same Giants late in that game when he should have went out of bounds. He cut it back inside and ended up hurting his shoulder. Full participant on Thursday and Friday once again. He also has been taken off of the injury report. So all of those guys good to go for the Giants in week 9. As you get to the Giants, similar to Washington, they've only got 2 guys that are going to miss this game. I was wrong about Devontae Freeman. I thought he was going to play. I told you ankles can be really tricky, just like hamstrings. He didn't practice on Wednesday. He went limited basis on Thursday and Friday, but it wasn't good enough. They did not like what they saw. And so it's going to be Wayne Gallman again at the running back position. He doesn't have the same kind of burst and juice as Devontae Freeman, but he runs physical and hard, and he's going to come straight downhill right at you, and we've got to be ready for him. Ryan Lewis, one of their defensive backs, was dealing with a hamstring. He didn't practice on Wednesday or Thursday. I told you he probably wasn't going to play. He didn't practice Friday either. He's out as well. So the Giants, unlike Washington, not playing around with doubtful. These guys aren't playing. For the rest of the guys on this list, they're all going to go. Every single one of them. Golden Tate, I told you, wasn't even one you needed to discuss because he was out on Wednesday for non-injury related reasons, which once you see that, okay, that guy's fine. So Golden Tate's playing. Devontae Downs is one of their third down linebackers, a guy that they like to bring in nickel situations that can run a little bit. He was dealing with a shoulder injury. He's going to play. Fellow linebacker Blake Martinez, who to me is the heart and soul of that defense. They brought him in as a free agent acquisition this offseason from Green Bay. He's a tackling machine. He leads their team in tackles. He's going to go. He's got a hamstring injury. That's something worth noting because hamstrings could flare up at any time. He's been dealing with that hamstring for the last couple of weeks. He may be limited in this game. He may be full go. We'll see. But to me, he's the leader of that defense. Logan Ryan, I told you he was everywhere. That defensive back, they play him at safety. They play him at corner. He can play just about anywhere in the secondary for the Giants. He was all over the field versus us last time. They blitzed him. They dropped him into coverage. They played him in man-to-man. He was an impactful player the last time these two teams met. He was dealing with a hip. I thought he might have missed this game. I was wrong. He is going to play in this football game, and that's a big get for the Giants there, as well as Sterling Shepard. And I told you he was going to play, dealing with a wide receiver, Sterling Shepard, dealing with a shoulder and a toe injury. He was limited all week, all 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But I told you this guy just came back from injury against the Eagles on Thursday night a couple of weeks ago in week number 7. So he wasn't going to miss this game. He just wasn't, unless it was something major, which the shoulder and the toe have been things he's been dealing with all season long. He's good. He's going to play, and he is good to go as his game status is not even up in the air. So the Giants are going to come into this game relatively healthy. Washington's going to come into this game relatively healthy, and we got to find a way to get it done. We're fresh off the bye week. We had extra time to prepare for this Giants football team. We just saw them 3 weeks ago. We lost a heartbreaker. It's time to dole out a little bit of revenge. And that leads me to my final outcome for this game. And I think this is a game that is definitely here for the taking. And I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. If we don't win this game, I'm going to be very disappointed because that would make it 5 straight losses to the Giants. That would make it 4 straight losses to Daniel Jones. He would be undefeated in his career versus us. And we would have just been swept by a team with 2 wins this season, both of them coming at our expense. I can't deal with that. I can't wrap my brain around losing to this Giants football team twice when they only have 1 win to their name right now. And that 1 win came from us. We've got to find a way to win this game. The Meadowlands has never been kind to us, so losing there, not a surprise. Disappointed, but not a surprise. We were the better team the first time around, and I felt like we proved it throughout the second half, although we didn't prove it on the scoreboard where it mattered most because we turned it over and they didn't for the most part. Daniel Jones did throw an interception after a marathon drive that ate up the bulk of the third quarter, but outside of that, The Giants didn't possess the football a ton in the second half. They didn't do much of anything in the second half of the game, and yet they were able to win because they jumped out early to a 13-3 lead at halftime. If I'm not mistaken, it was 13-3 at halftime. Might have been 13-10. I think it was 13-3. And then, or 13, I feel like it was 13-3. Anyway, or it might have been 10. I feel like they scored. I don't know. I don't need to get into the minutia of the score and when was scored and when this was scored and whatever. I just know we were the better team. Period. Nothing else to even talk about. We should have won the football game the first time. We let that one slip through our fingers. We can't have that happen again. End of discussion. Nothing else to talk about. So let's talk about how we can make sure that we don't put ourselves in a position to have to eke it out late versus Giants team. And honestly, I don't give a shit how we get it. I don't care if it's 20-19 again, this time in our favor, or if it's 39-19 in our favor, or if it's 27-7. I just want to win the game. I don't care if it's 7-6. We just need to win. So let's talk about how we can get that done. So you start with Washington's offense versus the Giants' defense, because when we met them the last time, it was the first time, honestly speaking, that this offense looked like a professional outfit. It was the first time that we actually moved the football, converted on third downs, and actually looked like a professional NFL offense. And a lot of that had to do with the change at the quarterback position and Kyle Allen. So we start there with our first key to the game offensively. Take care of the football. The reason we lost to the Giants the last time is because Kyle Allen didn't take care of the football. He had an interception, a bad interception where he misread coverage. He thought it was zone. He thought it was man. It was zone, and he threw it right to James Bradbury, and they turned that interception into a touchdown. Got to take care of the football. We all know about the fumble that led right directly to a Giants touchdown. Game tied at 13. We're at midfield. He fumbles the football. They scoop it up. They score it. They win the game 20-19. Now, he showed some resilience, taking the team back down the field, scoring a touchdown. We went for 2. We didn't get it. We lose 20-19. Can't have the turnovers. Take care of the football. He did that last week versus Dallas, and you saw the end result. I'm not saying that's how it's going to happen every week, but you give yourself a chance when you take care of the football. Got to do that against this Giants football team. They need help. They need help to beat us. They do. They're not good enough to win on their own merit. If they're going to win a game, they're going to need the other team to implode. We did that last time. That's why they win the game. Take care of the football. You give yourself a chance to beat this Giants football team. Establish the run. I thought we did a tremendous job of doing that last game in Week 7 versus Dallas. We established the run early and often, and it kept Dallas off balance, and we were able to play off of that, and that's how you get the Terry McLaurin 50, 2-yard touchdown. That's how you get the 3rd and 1 play action fake to Logan Thomas, breaks a tackle, walks into the end zone, touchdown. That's how you get those situations where you catch the defense off balance because they have to respect the run. Establishing the run does multiple things. It gives you opportunities to take shots down the field, one. It also gets you in a manageable down and distance situation. It keeps you ahead of the sticks, keeps you out of 3rd and 9. It keeps you out of 3rd and 7. It puts you in a position where you can throw it on 1st down. You can throw it on 2nd down. You can throw it whenever you feel like it because you always have the ability in your back pocket to run the football. If you establish the run, you will force the Giants to have to respect our ability to run, which will open up throwing lanes for this offense. Kyle Allen and company. Move the sticks consistently and not necessarily on 3rd downs. Against the Giants the first time, it was our best game of the season to that point on 3rd downs. We hadn't had a game like 8 of 15, which we were against the Giants in that game. We were actually dead last in the league on 3rd down conversions heading into that game. A large part of that was definitely the week prior versus the Rams, where we were probably 0 for on 3rd down or 1 for whatever on 2 or whatever. It was terrible on 3rd downs against the Rams the week previous. But we don't necessarily have to convert a 1st down on 3rd down. Like, don't be afraid. We're one of the more aggressive teams on first down. We like to throw it on first down. I like that we like to throw it on first down because, again, you keep the opposition off balance when you do that. But at the same time, if you're not successful in throwing it on first down, you then put yourself in a 2nd and 10 situation where you're more likely than not. And the MO right now is when Turner throws it on first down, and he doesn't complete it, he likes to come back and run it on 2nd down. Well, if you're not having success on first down, and against the Giants, we did not have early down success. A lot of our runs on first down were abysmal, and it put us in a lot of 3rd and longs, and it just so happened that Kyle Allen and his offense was doing a tremendous job of converting 3rd and longs. I do not want to see this offense in 3rd and longs in this game a bunch. I'd like to keep it short and sweet on 3rd downs, but really don't put yourself in a 3rd down position if you don't have to. The good teams offensively in this league, they don't wait till 3rd down to convert. They convert first downs on first downs and first downs on 2nd downs. So if you can get to a point where you can get a chunk play on 1st and 10, if you can get to a point where you can get a chunk or break off a big run on 2nd and 8 or 2nd and 5 or 2nd and 10, do that. So to me, we got to move the sticks consistently. We got to control the action and not let the Giants take the fight to us, which at times they were able to do in the first game. We got to be able to move the sticks consistently, and it doesn't necessarily have to be on 3rd downs, even though we do need to be just as good, if not better, than we were on 3rd downs the last time we met the Giants in the Meadowlands. If big play opportunities present themselves, take advantage. I talk about this all the time. We saw that there were opportunities on Monday for the Giants to take advantage of big plays against the Buccaneers, and Daniel Jones simply did not see them. If opportunities present themselves, you must take advantage. Against Dallas, we got opportunities. We took advantage. The first time we played the Giants, I talked about this same exact thing. Big opportunities present themselves. You got to take advantage. J.D. McKissic screaming down the sideline against Blake Martinez one-on-one in coverage, and it's a touchdown if you just hit him. It's a walk-in touchdown, 75 yards, quick strike. He threw it to Terry. Okay, you decided to go to Terry. Terry's wide ass open on a 3rd down. All right, same play. McKissic open down the sideline. Terry open over the middle of the field. You chose Terry. That's a 1st down. He skips it to him. You cannot miss. That's a chunk play. Can't miss big play opportunities when they present themselves. It was the one time in the second half that we had to punt the football. Got to make those plays when they present themselves against a Giants defense that is proven to be relatively stingy this season. They make a mistake, make them pay for that mistake, because they've been really consistent on defense for the most part this year. If they make a mistake, make them pay for that mistake. And lastly, offensively, score touchdowns, not field goals. And I say that every week because touchdowns equal to more points. Field goals equal to less points. That's no secret. I'm not telling you something that you didn't already know. And you don't have to be a doctor nor sleep at a Holiday Inn to know that. However, I'll take it a step further. Dustin Hopkins has been wildly inconsistent this season. So much so that most fans want him gone. I'm not among them. However, he is on high alert because you can't keep missing kicks. And so I love the fact that Rivera continues to instill confidence in him. And I want him to understand that you're a good kicker. And we know you're capable, but you got to start making kicks. But let's not put him in that position. Let's do what we did against Dallas and score touchdowns. We scored 3 of them in the game versus Dallas. I'd like to score 3 more in this game or more. That'd be great. But when you get down there and you got a chance to score, you have to find the end zone. You can't settle for field goals. As we did last time, that's what got us beat. We got down there multiple times in the second half, and we had to settle for 2 field goals, and we were only able to score 1 touchdown, and that was the touchdown late in the ball game that he threw to Cam Sims. We've got to find the end zone. We had a drive stall out at around the 6. We had another drive stall out at around the 13 or something like that. We've got to find the end zone. That's what kept the Giants in the game the last time. We had a chance down 13-10 to take a 17-13 lead. We score a touchdown on that possession. We're going to win that football game against the Giants. Instead, We settled for a field goal. It tied it up at 13. We ultimately lose the game after making a mistake. Gotta score touchdowns, not field goals, against this Giants football team. You get to our defense versus their offense in this game. First things first, stop the run. No Devontae Freeman. They got Wayne Gallman back there. I like our chances to be able to. They got Alfred Morris. We saw Alf. He'll be coming back to Washington as well. And more likely than not, he'll be active in this game. And he looked good. He looked good. Stop the run. I don't give a shit who's back there. Alfred Morris, Morris, Bam Morris. I don't care. Mercury Morris. It doesn't matter to me. Stop the run. Why is it so important to stop the run? Then we'll get to it. But stop the run first. Hold serve on third downs. The last time we played the Giants, they were immaculate on third downs, which was the reason we didn't have a lot of possessions. We only had 8 possessions in that game. Why? Because we couldn't get off the field on third downs against the Giants. It was abysmal. It was horrible. They were 7 of 11 in the game. 77% on third downs in that game. That's ridiculous. You won't win games that way. That's not 77% either. Don't get me doing math up here. You guys already know that can go south really, really quickly. But it's over 50. That's all you need to know. It's much closer to 70 than it is 50. That's a problem. That's a problem. So we have to do a better job. That's right around 60 some odd percent, 65% or so. We got to do a better job on third downs. And the best way to do that is to put them in third and long situations. So we've got to limit the run. We've got to stop the run. The Giants aren't a great rushing team. Daniel Jones is their leading rusher. We cannot allow him to do what he did to us on the ground the last time. We can't allow that this time. And I don't think we're going to allow that this time. I feel confident that if a guy has quarterback, he's going to play quarterback. There will be no 49-yard runs into Washington territory this game. I feel confident in saying that. Limit big plays. I just talked about a 49-yard run we gave up to Daniel Jones the last time we played these guys. We gave up the touchdown on third and long to Steve Slayton from about 25 yards out the last time we played the Giants. We have to limit big plays. We cannot give them up. If we want to take the next step as a defense, we have to be able to be more effective and limit big plays. Period. End of discussion. There's nothing else to talk about. You want to take the next step? You want to be an elite defense? You want to be the catalyst that drives this football team to wins? Stop giving up big plays, especially against a team that is anemic offensively and struggles to score. Don't give them opportunities to be in a position to score. Get stops and limit big plays. Force field goals. Look, you're going to give up yards. You're going to give up some plays. They're going to move the football. They're going to get in the scoring range. What you have to do, and we did a really good job of this the last time we played against them, for the most part. They had one possession that they were able to find the end zone offensively, and we rolled the dice. We moved Kendall Fuller to safety. We put Fab Moreau out there, and he got beat. We rolled the dice, and we got beat, but it happens. But Kerrigan had a big sack in the red zone. We had a stop on a third down in like 12 quarterback draw that we stopped them about 2 or 3 yards short of the first down. We forced them to kick field goals in the red zone last time. We got to do it again. Period. End of discussion. They get down there. They can't have 7. They have to settle for 3. Get to Daniel Jones. The reason why stopping the run is so imperative is because you want Daniel Jones to be forced to throw the football. The more he has to throw it, the more opportunities you give yourself to force him into a mistake. We watched him on Monday do the same thing that he's been doing for much of this season, which is turn it over. If you get to Daniel Jones, you heighten your opportunity to force him to do something stupid. He's one of those guys that likes to create and extend plays. He thinks he can make something out of nothing, and he usually makes a mistake and makes a mess of it. We can get to Daniel Jones on 3rd and 9. The only way you get to pin your ears back and come after him and pressure him and make him do something silly is to get them into 3rd and long. The reason they were so effective in third down situations the first time we played them is because they were consistently in 3rd and short and medium. They were consistently in 3rd and 5 and 3rd and 4 and 3rd and 3 and 3rd and 2 and 3rd and 1. Those are easy to convert. You want them to be in a position of panic. You want them to be in a position where they could be vulnerable. Put them in 3rd and 7. Put them in 3rd and 9. Put them in 3rd and 11. That will give you an opportunity to get after Daniel Jones, maybe force a fumble or two, maybe force an interception or two, and maybe we're the team running something back for a touchdown this game and not them. And finally, limit Evan Ingram. All right, look, Evan Ingram is a problem. And I was scared the last time we played him. He only had 2 catches. Now, the first catch of the game was like a 15-yard grab. But after that, he only had 1 more catch for like 6 or 7 yards. So he was a non-factor last game. But as I'm watching him against the Eagles and against the Buccaneers, he's becoming a much bigger part of their offense. Now that they've got all these weapons back, they've got Sterling Shepard, they've got Golden Tate, they've got Darius Slayton, and now Evan Ingram doesn't have to be the focal point anymore. Now he's allowed to blend in, and when he starts blending in, he becomes the problem because he's not a guy that's supposed to blend in. He's supposed to stand out. But because he has been inconsistent throughout his career, it's easy to forget about him. We have tight end issues. I'd like to keep him nice and quiet like we did the last time we played the Giants. I don't want a big game out of Evan Ingram. I don't want a big game out of any of their receivers, but it can't be Evan Ingram if somebody does have a big game. It can't be him because that will hurt us a big time like the Rams did a few weeks ago. So, obviously, if we have to kick a field goal, Dustin Hopkins needs to make them. I'd really like to take that out of his hands and just get in the end zone. But at the end of the day, you're not going to make touchdowns every time. Dustin Hopkins needs to convert field goals. That's another key to the game. But it doesn't need to be said, but I'm going to say it anyway because he has missed a field goal in just about every game this season that he's attempted multiple field goals in. So he needs to make his field goals. When he kicks them, I don't care if it's from 50, 52, 48, 38, wherever you're kicking it from, make the damn field goal. So those are my keys to the game on both sides of the football. At the end of the day, this is what the final score for me looks like in this ball game. I just see us as the better team, and I think we're going to show that on Sunday. We should have beat them the first time. I don't think they're going to get us this time. I got Washington winning this football game 27-16. The Giants score 1 touchdown, kick 3 field goals. And the only reason that they get 3 field goals is because they trust their kicker to kick it from 54. And he's going to make 2 50-plus yard field goals in this game to keep the Giants viable. But they're only going to get in the red zone twice. They will score once, and they'll score a field goal on the other opportunity. The other 2 field goals are going to come from outside of the red zone. Meanwhile, Washington's going to get in the end zone 3 times, kick an additional 2 field goals, and they're going to win this thing going away late 27-16 over the Giants. And now all of a sudden, Washington's going to start to look like a viable team in the NFC East. So that's going to do it for me, your man Louie T. I thank you guys for joining me. Remember, I want to know what you think. I want your score and more down in the description of this video. So make sure you leave your comments down in the comment section on what you think is going to happen. Give me a score. Give me a little cliff note. Give me a little bit of what you think is going to happen and how we're going to get to your final score in this game. Also, make sure you subscribe to the Louie T Network for more great content. Turn on that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Also, hit that like button on the way out and support your man Louie T. Speaking of supporting your man Louie T, I've got merch. I showed you guys the last time we were live that I've got hats now, beanies, on the website, on the Print Champs website, printchamps.com/Louie T. The description down, or the link down in the description of this video. Check that out. Also, what's in the description of this video and every video that I do, the link to the Mob Squad. We're going to be watching this Giants game live together, chopping it up in the community. MOBB, stand up. We in the building, like always. Looking forward to chopping it up with you guys. I want as many of us to squad up and watch this game together. And so when we come to talk after the game on overtime, we will be talking about a lot of the same things that we talked about in the community together. So if you're not watching the game anywhere, or you're going to be stationary, you're going to be at the house, come join us in the Mob Squad community chat, where we'll be talking about this game, watching it live. And we watch a ton of NFC East football together. And so I look forward to chopping it up with you guys, and also you can win a cash prize, and we'll get into that a little bit more, but you can win cash prizes as well in the Mob Squad. So if you haven't already become a member, join the Mob Squad. And I'm also going to be giving away a hat. We're going to do a hat giveaway. I had a viewer say, hey, man, why don't you give away a hat in the community? I think that's a great idea. I'm going to figure out a way that we can do that. And I look forward to doing that as well. So join the group if you haven't already. It's a ton of fun. And I can't wait to watch the game with you guys on Sunday, 1 p.m. I think it's going to be another win for the Burgundy and Gold. That's going to do it for me, your man, Louie T. I thank you guys for joining me. Remember, I'm your man, Louie T, and this has been Washington Football Nightly. I'll see you guys on Sunday for overtime, hopefully after another Washington win. Have a good one.
Here comes the Diesel. Here comes the Diesel. There's the snap, hand to Riggins. Good hole. He's got the first down to the 40. He's gone. The